Hello, everyone. This is Eric from Etiquette, back for the first live stream in a long time on the channel. If you're new here, put your name in the comments down below. If you've got any questions about teaching, oh, yeah, by the way, this is a channel about teaching, especially teaching English as a second language. So if you've got any questions, put them down below and I'll try to answer them as best I can. This is my first live stream in a while. You'll see over there. There's an icon. It's a app that I'm using to stream from, StreamYard. It's really good. Although now I'm not paying for it, so now you can see the icon up there. Yeah, it's good to be back. Is anyone here? You can just say hi down below. Usually I stream on Facebook, YouTube, and I stream on LinkedIn at the same time, sometimes Twitch. But this time I'm just streaming on YouTube to say hello. But in the future, I might switch to Facebook, just to let you know. And we've already got some viewers here. Medina, hi. Tashkent, hi. Where's Tashkent? Let me look that up. Tashkent. Where is that? Ooh, it's in Uzbekistan. Very interesting. Beautiful city. Wow. Looks really interesting. Hi, Medina. And Asfia, hi there. Where are you from? By the way, guys, tell me where you're from and we can talk about that. English with Tarif. Very handsome man. I like that profile photo. Mary, hi. Your pianist. Excellent. You know what? If I could play any musical instruments, it would definitely be piano. But I'm not very good at playing anything or singing. I'm musically not so gifted. Farah, hello dear teacher. Hi. Nydia from Cancun, Mexico. I've been watching some videos of a YouTuber in Cancun, and it's just such a beautiful city. Obviously very famous as a tourist destination, especially for Americans going down. Mary in Florida. Excellent. Hyderabad in India. Hello. And from Syria, hi Tarif. Little John, Hidalgo, Mexico. I'm trying to say it right. A lot of my viewers have asked me to work on my Spanish. I haven't got there yet, but Little John, welcome. Yeah, so today I'll just say hello, and then I've got 3 topics that I want to discuss today. So I'm just going to give some points, because if you go on my other videos, you can ask me some questions, and I found some questions that a lot of teachers have asked me. So I decided, you know what, let me try and answer them during the live streams. And in between me answering those questions, I'll read some of your questions or anything you want to say. So please do that. Yeah, it's great to see you guys. I used to do this once a week. It was a stressful experience, but also it was so enjoyable, just chatting with you guys and meeting up with you, hearing what you're doing and seeing those faces. So yeah, it's, even though it's quite stressful before I start, once I get going, I really enjoy chatting with you. And my parents have also put some pressure on me to continue with the live streams. But like I said, I think I'll live stream more occasionally than now. But I think I'll do it on the Facebook channel. The reason I do it on the Facebook group, Mario, hola, it's so good to see you. Of course, I remember you. You know, I missed so many of the teachers out there joining the live stream. Yeah. So guys, check out the Facebook page if you're not following there yet. I think I'll stream there. The reason I do that is because these live streams might actually be detrimental to the YouTube channel. So I stopped doing that, and it's easier and more stress-free for me too, because for 3 years I live streamed once a week. It doesn't sound like that much, but you know, when you're working and you also have to do that, that's quite bad. But yeah, without further ado, if you've got any questions, put them down below. If there's something you want to talk about, if you want to share an experience, please put it in there. Now, I'm going to start. I realize I edit so many of my own videos, and I say, unless I use a script, I use these filler words like now and so. It's horrible when you have to listen to your own voice all the time saying that. But so the first topic I want to talk about today is punishments. So I make a lot of videos on classroom management, and I say, well, if students do something wrong, then they should face the consequences if they break the rules. And you want to be fair when you employ those punishments and when they break the rules. You obviously, communication is important. It's important to build rapport with your students so that they know that you are the leader in class and you want everyone to learn and stay in a good environment. And that's why the rules are there, and that's why they need to follow them. And then many of the teachers ask me, well, Eric, what kind of punishments should you use when you're teaching? So I'm going to go through some punishments and also talk about some tips for that. So punishments for students who break the rules should always be fair, appropriate, and aligned with school policies. It's essential to focus on fostering a positive and supportive classroom environment while addressing behavioral issues. Here's a list of potential consequences and some classroom management tips. Okay, so I'm going to look down a few times because I made some notes. I want to be accurate, so I hope you don't mind that. By the way, we see Faith is here. Hi, Faith, and Mario. Even for oh wow, Mario, that's so sweet of you. Thank you for coming. Stanley, wow, Eric, I first subscribed to your channel. Oh, what's wrong? I can't read. There we go. Sorry, I had this. I first, when I had less than 5,000 subs, now I'm here. Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate, and I'm overwhelmed with the support and the care from the community. So I just want to say thank you so much, Stanley. Hopefully you've noticed that the quality of the videos have improved. I've worked on that. Actually, I've been going through some of my older videos, and it's very noticeable, the quality of the audio and the video. My presence hopefully has improved on video, and also the editing, of course. I tried to cut out a lot of the ahs, and spaces in between so that it's a more fluid experience. My dad is here too. He says, hello, everyone. Greetings from the Western Cape. Okay, let me go on with this answer about punishments. So what kind of punishments can you use with your students? First, start with a verbal warning. Start with a verbal warning. Start with a verbal reminder of rules and expectations, giving students a chance to correct their behavior. So first, you're going to tell them, sorry, what are the rules? That's not what you're supposed to do. We agreed to these rules. So whatever your policies are in the classroom, the classroom rules you have, you've got to warn your students, listen, don't do that. That's your first warning. So first, a verbal warning. Second, a timeout. Have a designated area where students can cool off and reflect on their actions. This should be a brief, structured break. So they should still be busy with work. They should just be moved to the side in a space called the timeout zone. Yeah, that's very important to have something like that. What we should understand with a lot of these students, if they're younger, they might not know how to process a lot of the emotions they go through. So you'll find some students are more quick to anger or to cry or something to happen to them. When they go through puberty, it's even worse. Going through puberty, yeah, maybe I was a bit emotional too. So we've got to give our students a chance to just calm down, relax, and work through those emotions. Very important. Loss of privileges. A temporary removal of privileges, such as using a favorite classroom resource or participating in a preferred activity or game. Additional work. Assign extra assignments or academic tasks related to the misbehavior as a consequence. One of the examples we can give is, if you've watched The Simpsons, is where Bart has to write out a sentence. I will not do this anymore, like 10 or 20 times. We've all had to do that, right? And then, we all try and cheat and just quickly write those down. But it's about the students understanding that they did something wrong, and they're supposed to align with what we expect from them in the classroom. Okay, parents or guardian contact. So inform parents or guardians about the behavior and discuss a plan for improvement. Okay, so this should not be done lightly because a lot of students that do act out in class and misbehave might have a difficult time at home for some reason, you know? So we've got to be considerate of that. So before you contact the parents, just try and understand where the students are coming from because, you know, we all live in our own bubbles where, you know, we're so busy with our own lives. We forget to understand that these kids, they're growing up somewhere too, and it might be in a difficult place. So before you contact the parents, just consider that for a bit. Okay, a behavior contract. Create a written agreement with the student outlining expectations and consequences for future behavior. So you're going to sit down with the student and explain the rules to them, maybe sign some kind of contract. I know a lot of teachers do this at the start of the semester where they get the students to write things down like that. The next one, detention. Hold the student for supervised after-school detention period to complete schoolwork or reflect on their actions. Okay, we've all done this too. If you've misbehaved or done something badly a certain number of times, you will get put in detention. You have to stay after school or, you know, during break. So that happens a lot too. Next, a loss of recess. Students may miss recess or free time if their behavior continues to disrupt class. So we've maybe, you know, that's also a loss of privileges, you know, so make sure that the students still eat and they, you know, they're able to go to the bathroom, but, you know, to the restroom, not the bathroom. I know better. Okay, restitution. So restitution, that's an extreme case when there's damage or theft that require the student to make amends by repairing it, replacing, or reimbursing the affected party. Like if they broke something of a friend, they're supposed to pay back or get it repaired. Okay, then referral to school administration. In cases of severe or repeated misbehavior, involve school administration for further action. This is where teachers send the student to the principal. I want to also warn against this. Don't do this lightly too, because a lot of teachers, you know, they get frustrated. They don't know what to do. And so they run to the principal. And that's not something you want to do because that also weakens your position of authority in the classroom. Because if you can't handle those students, you're just going to run to the principal each time. I know a lot of teachers also send students outside, but I'm heavily against that unless it's an extreme case where a student needs to cool down or there was some kind of violent behavior. Because if you just send a student outside, a lot of teachers do this. I'll work with the good students. The bad students, you go outside. They're missing classroom time. They're missing time with you. And they're also going to resent you for sending them outside because now you are an enemy. Now you're an enemy and they don't see you as a teacher anymore. It's someone who just sends them out of class because you're like their nemesis, you know, so you don't want to do that either. Now, I'm quickly going to give some classroom management tips that go along with these punishments. So first, set clear expectations, establish clear, concise, and age-appropriate classroom rules and expectations. Communicate them consistently. So it all depends on how old the students are. You know, with the younger students, you're going to have to train them how to act in class. You know, you're going to tell them, well, listen, when you enter class, this is what you have to do. When I'm busy teaching, this is what I expect. When you want to go and sharpen your pencil, when you want to go to the restroom, this is what you have to do. And it has to be done in a way that doesn't disrupt the rest of the class. So you're going to want to work on these procedures and explain them to the students clearly so that they know exactly what is expected of them. And so this is something that should be practiced, especially at the start of the year or the term, so that and practiced over and over again so that the students know that is what's expected of them. Positive reinforcement. Recognize and reward good behavior through praise, incentives, or a reward system like a classroom token economy. Okay, so very important. I think positive reinforcement, it's not just about playing games and giving out stars. It's about rewarding the students when they do something well. When you know, a lot of students don't get that praise. So you want to reward them positively by giving them attention and praise when they do something well. So just saying good job. Oh, I really like that. And a classroom is supposed to be a positive environment. The students aren't going to learn when they feel threatened. Well, some of them might be, but you never know. Okay, consistency. Apply consequences consistently for all students to maintain fairness and avoid favoritism. One of the common things a lot of students will say, oh, you never treat this student like this. You're always just mean to me. And then it's like they compare themselves with the sweetest student. And you say, well, he's always good or she's always doing well. You should try and be like them. So from the start, we're supposed to do something like that where we are consistent and the students know that we're unbiased. We want all our students to succeed. Okay, then using nonverbal cues. Develop a system of nonverbal cues to discreetly redirect or remind students of appropriate behavior. So that can be with a hand sign. That can be with a look. That can be with focusing them on what they're supposed to do if you've got something on the board, or, you can point at someone's book, oh, you're supposed to be doing this, right? So we should do something like that. Let's quickly see who's here. I'll take a break from those for a little bit. Pedro, hi. Eri, thank you so much for your advice. Hi again after a long time. Good to see you. Adam from Bundang, from Indonesia. Actually, Adam, tomorrow and this week, I'm going to have special, not students, but visitors. So I live in South Korea and we've got Indonesian visitors, and I'll be teaching some students or visitors, I think they're in their 30s, next week. I'm so looking forward to it. Abir, hi. Samira from Pakistan, good to see you. Mario giving me the thumbs up. Antonio, how are you? Frank from El Salvador, hi. Ere, you're in Vietnam. Mahir, thank you so much for 2 years now. I don't even remember what I was doing 2 years ago. I think I started the channel in 2018 or 19? 19 March. No, wait, it was Valentine's Day I started, 2019. So 4 years now. Oh, okay. Nazar, hi, I'm a student. I'm selected for teacher of statistics and accounts. Any tips? Yeah, enjoy it, make it fun for your students. So a lot of students might think, oh, statistics aren't interesting. So make sure you make it relevant for them. Give them exciting examples where it's useful in their lives. A lot of us, we study math or we study science and we don't know how to apply it in the real world. But if you show them, wow, statistics and accounts, it can change your life. You can give them examples of people that have succeeded using those, studying that, right? Nina, no, hi, good to see you again. Nazar, I said, I thought it's my dad. Bonnie Esther on, she was waiting. Yeah, I saw Bonnie Esther messaging before. I hope she's on. I miss Bonnie Esther. Najma, I teach at an engineering college. If I plan to start teaching in a school, can I share tips that can help me? Sure. I put my whole channel is full of tips. Please check it out. Refrigeration and air conditioning. Hi, hello, sir. This is Ronald from the Philippines. I was there a little bit away. And Hallie, hi. Evening watching here. Good to see you, Hallie. Lovely profile pic. Yeah, I was actually in the Philippines for my vacation for 2 weeks. I really had a good time. I can't wait to go and visit again. Okay, guys. Yeah, it's so nice. This is basically just the YouTube audience. Like I said before, in the future, I will live stream again. I'll try and do a monthly live stream, but I think I'll put it on the Facebook page because live streaming on YouTube for my channel is a bit detrimental. So it's not very good for that. So in the future, if you haven't joined the Facebook page, just check in the description below. There's a word that says follow me, and it shows my Instagram account, my Facebook, and everything I use. Bio, Bachis, I'll be teaching English in Indonesia this coming year. I've been watching your channel to pick up some ideas on how to put a good plan together. Thanks for everything. I'm so happy. By the way, what I'm doing is I'm creating a curriculum, and every week I'm going to post a video with the worksheet and lesson plan. And hopefully after a couple of months, it'll be enough to create a curriculum, and I'll put those together. First, I'm going to focus on A2 and a little bit of B1, level A2 and B1. And then in the future, I'd like to focus on younger learners, because I know many teachers struggle with younger learners, and I'd like to create a curriculum for them. Also something on phonics. And then eventually I'd like to make something for more advanced students or adults as well. Hey, what should I do? Can I solve some sums? But I think this can be boring. Yeah, use real life examples. So where are sums used? So you can use how it's used in nature, in sports. Sports, it's very interesting, the statistics in there. And find out ways that they can use it in their lives. A lot of people joke when teachers use these word problems. When Johnny walks into the supermarket, he wants 10 bananas, he loses 2 bananas in the aisles. How many bananas does he have left? The reason they use these word questions is because students can kind of imagine and understand how it works. So that's very important. I can't think of any extra ideas now, but I'm sure you can find some somewhere. Brittany, hi from Taiwan. I'm teaching English at an international education at an elementary school. I hope so. I hope I can share some ideas. I've got lots of activity videos and classroom management videos, but right now I want to focus on building a curriculum. This Tuesday, I'll put out the next lesson, the second lesson. I think it's quite useful. It's teaching is an R, I think. Yeah, so I'm doing those. It takes a lot of time, but thank you so much for the support. Your videos of the games in the classroom are amazing, but very fast. Could you make short videos again for type 6 and okay. Yeah, I've got some of my compilations are like 300 videos, and what you want to do with those is when you do an activity with your students, whatever the activity might be, make sure that students get a chance to do it. So if put them into groups so that they've got more time. And also review the activity with the students after they've done it. Tell them, okay, I'm going to ask you for some information. What did you learn from this game or activity? What was a fun part, so that they can share their experience of what they're learning. Grammar activities fun for tenses for adult learners. Yeah, with tenses, like I said, I'm working on the curriculum, and for each lesson, I give a bunch of activities that you can use for that lesson. I really enjoy it, although it is tough creating the worksheet and the lesson plan, but I do enjoy it. With tenses, yeah, it's very important to use things like that. Man, I can think of just off the top of my head, using tenses. When you practice them, I like to show them. I created this worksheet with 140 most commonly used tenses. Oh, let me open it up and I'll show you. Where is that? Download. I know you're around here somewhere. Let's see. Where are you? 140 tenses. Ah, found it. Wait, now I've got to put it. Copy. I'm so happy because, I'm not the most talented person when it comes to creating worksheets or things, but I made this. Let me quickly show you this thing. Okay, share screen. Oh, come on. Where are you? There we go. Okay. Yeah, so I made this. 140 common things. So what I like to do is when you first go through the tenses, you're going to ask your students to, let's say they have to use the past tense. Okay, so say wake up. So you're going to ask a student, okay, what's this in the past? Today I wake up. Yesterday I woke up, brushed, washed, combed, learned. So you're going to do these examples with your students, and then you can do something fun. You can tell the students, okay, a tip I want to tell you is it's so much more fun when you do an activity and the students generate the data for that activity, so to say. They create it. So I would ask the students, okay, everyone, I want you to write down 2 simple sentences. I've got all these verbs here. So a subject, the verb, the object. Just write down 2 sentences. So Jimmy draws a house. Okay. Then you take those papers, you redistribute them, and then the students have to perhaps act it out, and the other students have to guess what that is. So remember to tell them it's in the past tense. So Jimmy drew a house, so that, or he swam in the swimming pool. And yeah, so if you can get the students to do that, it's way easier. Okay, and then obviously, you're going to ask them to create their own sentences, interview a partner. So when I teach something with the tenses, whatever it might be, let's say it's future. I am going to, I'm going to. Then I write down 3 questions on the board: tomorrow, next week, and next vacation. I want you to interview your friend. What are you? So you write down the word and you do an example with your students. Oh, what are you doing tomorrow? I am meeting my friend. Okay. Then, so the students interview a partner. You walk around, you check in on them, and then you ask them, okay, well, tell me something interesting about your partner. And they say, my friend is going to. And once again, you want to show them an example first of how you want them to answer. And then you go through the class. And I think once you get your timing right with these activities, it's much easier. And with adults too, I think I made 2 videos on how to teach adults. It's so easy teaching adults because they've already got all that life experience and things they want to talk about. And you don't really have to worry about classroom management with adults. It's more about the biggest problem I found with some large adult classes is that you get some people that dominate the conversation and they take over. Okay, Pedro, in Asia, it seems that parents want to use these schools after normal classes because they have nowhere to leave conventional classes. Yeah, that's one of the things. A lot of teachers say they feel like glorified babysitters, but they're going to improve a skill if they're there. And for me, growing up, we played sports and we went out. And now, a lot of kids, it's quite competitive. So the parents send them to classes and they can rest easy because their kids are perhaps learning something too. Najma, how to divide a lecture hour so students don't get bored? Great question. Great question. Now, once you get used to the timing, you want to structure your classes so that you have lots of activities and you can control the flow. I always talk about the energy flow in a classroom. You want to have fun activities, and then you want to bring them down and do more like a lecture style where they can read or they can watch you, and then do another fun activity and then let them relax. And I always, like in these lessons that I'm creating, I'd rather have too many activities than not enough. I think most of us as teachers, we really stress about that. Oh, do I have enough activities? Is it easy to do? Things like that. So rather have too many activities. And also I like to end on an activity that gives me more control about how much time is left. For example, let's say I've got 10 minutes left. I want to have an activity where perhaps it takes 5 minutes, perhaps it takes 10 minutes, perhaps it could take 15 minutes, so that I am in control of when they finish. And that's usually with some kind of group activity where they have to do something together. And then they present back to class. And then afterwards, I can ask them some questions. What did they learn? What did you learn from this person? And if there's not enough time left, I can stop the lesson and say, okay, well, guys, that's it. Let's get ready to leave. Okay, so very important to do that. Mario, technology curriculum. No, Ron, I don't have anything like that. Right now, I just focus on general teaching tips and also on English because, in the future, I might try and do things like that. I studied a bit of technology myself, and it's very interesting to teach. But I'm right now, it's going to take me a year or 2 years just to complete all these curricula I'm trying to create for the teachers out there. So that's important. How do you encourage students to become independent learners? Most of them think they need a teacher to learn English. Actually, I did. Actually, I saw what was it? Actually, no, there's this other video that came out of a little boy. What did he say? It wasn't actually. It was something like that. By the way, I made a video on student motivation. I made it a long time ago. So I'm actually thinking motivation. I'll quickly share it with you. I made it a long time ago, so I might actually just re-edit it and put it out in the next couple of weeks, because a lot of my videos teachers haven't found yet. So maybe you joined the channel, but you haven't seen those videos yet. So I'd like to re-edit some of them, freshen them up, and then re-release them for some teachers. So you might see some of those. I'm a teacher only for Teachers Day. Everybody knows everything what I'm going to teach. I want to know, should I do a compilation for solving sums in groups? Any idea? Yes. So that might be fun. Whatever way you can get people to work together. We like to learn together and share, and so that is fun. I like that idea. One thing I do want you to warn you about is, when you're teaching students, you sometimes we try to do too much and try and push too far because we expect them to be able to do something already. So I would first just go over the basics again, make sure everybody's on board, everybody understands, and then I would definitely say that doing some group activities might be fun. And another thing, like I said, using real life examples where they can feel, it's something that is useful. So we talk about project-based learning. So, let's say they've got to do some sums for a restaurant, they're accountants for a restaurant, and they've got to figure something like that out, or for a technology company, something like that. So make it fun, make it interesting, make it relevant. Pedro, hi, Nizar, another question I can... Yeah, well, just have fun activity. Nazar, oh, sorry, everyone. Nazar, long time no see. How have you been? It's so good to see you. I'm doing really well. How have you been? Okay. Man, I haven't finished answering this first question yet. Okay. Now, back to punishing students, some classroom tips. The next one is proximity control. What is proximity control? So a lot of teachers, they walk around class and they might have some students that are constantly saying, teacher, I can't do this. Come and help me. You go over and you try and help this one student, but then you're not paying attention to the rest of the class, and they start fiddling and some of the kids start acting out, and you're like, everybody, I'm helping someone. So it's very important for you with proximity to be close to your students, to walk around, to monitor them, to ask them questions, to check if they're doing okay. If a student struggles, you just want to quickly realign them. Okay, remember, you're supposed to do this. What is an example? Okay, back to work. Because you will always find students that demand more time, but you should just, instead of them always relying on you, you should just quickly put them back to work and then continue. What's the next one? Okay, classroom layout, arrange desks and materials to minimize distractions and promote a conductive learning environment. I was always so jealous of other teachers. A lot of the teachers had these beautiful classrooms, and it's just not in me to make like a pretty place. So I put up posters and things, but it's just not the same. It looks like a mechanic. It looks like a place that's for, I don't know. It's whenever I try and make my classroom pretty, you can see it's just a guy that tried to put up some posters. But it should be a place where it's easy for the students to walk, to move around, There shouldn't be distractions in between. It should be clean, obviously. It's always nice if you can get some students to come in and clean 2 different students every day. So just have a good layout. I've used the horseshoe a lot, especially if you're standing in front and you're talking with them. Now, it doesn't matter that much to me, because I just quickly ask the students to work. When I get into class the first time and I see a lot of teachers, it depends if you've got your own classroom or you have to move around. I have to move around a lot, so we share classrooms. And then I go in quickly, I just rearrange the classrooms, and I get the students to walk around and work with other people too. So it doesn't matter that much to me, but I want to make sure that the students are in a good position to learn or close to a partner to work with. So I always put them in pairs or put them close to a group. That's very important. Okay, engaging lessons. Plan interactive and engaging lessons that cater to different learning styles, reducing the likelihood of boredom and restlessness. The biggest stress that teachers have is that they feel like they are unsure about what's going to happen in the class. Once you've planned your lessons well, and you know that there are some fun activities, you've got a flow to what you want to do, you are certain that you know what's going to happen in that class, that will affect your students too. So, and like I said, have more activities than are necessary so that you don't feel like, oh, I'm stressed. I don't know what to do. The time's running out. I still have 20 minutes. What am I going to do? I'm going to freak out. So rather have more activities to do with your students. Build relationships. Get to know your students as individuals. Show empathy and understanding for their unique needs. Conflict resolution. This is very important. A lot of students are going to get into arguments, into fights, and it's up to you to solve those problems and also to teach them the skills how to solve it themselves, because you can't be the peacemaker in between. I saw this funny meme where it's like, teachers, whenever the shy kid fights back and it's the teacher running over, because it's always teachers always standing up for the bully instead of the shy kid. No, so we have to understand what's going on in class and be conscious of it and how to work with those kids. So this is a lot of dynamic skills that teachers have to have: conflict resolution and people skills, working with the kids, understanding them, and also teaching them how to work with partners. So that's very important. A very important thing: teacher self-care. Maintain your own well-being. Teacher stress can affect classroom management. So take care of yourself. Make sure that you de-stress, that you have people to work with. When you go home, don't take a bunch of paperwork. Focus on your family and focus on your health. Go for a walk. Have pets around you. Do things that fulfill you, that you're passionate about too. When the kids have a teacher that they know is really into something and enjoys doing something, you'll come into class happy, and the students will notice it. And seek support from other colleagues and administration when needed. Okay, parent communication. Keep parents informed about their child's behavior and progress. Foster a collaborative approach to managing behavior. Remember that the goal of classroom management is not just to punish the students, but to create a positive learning environment where students can grow academically and socially. Tailor your approach to their specific needs and the developmental stages of your students. Okay, so that's what I wanted to say. I wanted to talk about I had three different questions. I barely did one. Anyway, thank you guys for sitting with me going through this. Let's see. Public speaking and giving presentations is one way to boost. Okay, it's done. Is one way to boost students' autonomy and help them become autonomous learners. NASA, I love having my students speak in class, but I had the first. Well, I get some negative comments, but there was one comment where. It was in a video where I said, I don't allow my students to be shy in class. It's a rule. And that was said as a joke, but, we do want to get our students to open up and be comfortable speaking in front of others. So, I make it a rule. I want them to speak out loud. and I want them to be okay with delivering a message. Even if they make mistakes, I make a lot of mistakes, as you can hear. So very important. Thank you, Naza. I am worried about that day. How can I remove that fear? I think I did so many videos about this. How to be a confident teacher, how to be a confident person. Well, when it comes to public speaking, I like to first tell myself, what is the worst thing that's going to happen? And make peace with it. So you can say, oh, I'm going to say something wrong. I'm going to stutter. I'm going to get confused. There might be someone laughing at me or shouting out. But when you're doing public speaking or presentations or something like that, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? If you make a mistake, will people laugh at you? Will they assault you? No, they won't. And the same with you said you're going to work with teachers, Nizar. Let me double check. For Teachers Day. I'm a teacher only for Teachers Day. So if you're going to work with teachers, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? Your main goal is helping them. So once you focus on the fact that you are providing value, your goal is to help people. And when that's your priority, the focus goes off of you as, the bringer of knowledge and skills, as actually just a medium to help people. They're not going to judge you. They're not. You're not going to have stress. Some practical tips: smile when you start. Open up. There's the Jesus pose, or a lot of presenters will show their palms to the audience to open up. Breathe. Broaden your. Put back your shoulders. Stand up straight. Do a power pose with your feet apart. Breathe deep. And then enjoy. And once again, like I said, plan. If you have too many activities, then it's going to be easy. If you are 100% sure of what's going to happen in that classroom, you'll be okay, And then just don't, I think the other thing is we think it's life or death. We think that whatever we're going to do, it's a test, and either we succeed or we fail. And when we fail, you are a failure. That's not true. See it as a learning experience. See it as a time for you to, wow, you know what? I'm going to share this. I'm going to do some of these activities. I've got some, and also look out for some common mistakes that they might have, and say, okay, well, this is something I might expect to happen. I can see happening. So I'm going to prepare for that. And once you are prepared and you're ready and you see it as a fun activity where you're going to share, there's nothing to be afraid of, right? So every time I go into my classroom, tomorrow is my first day. I'm going to walk in front of new students. I'm going to smile. I'm going to say hello. And, they might be more nervous than me. But you as the teacher, you have to be a leader. You have to take that responsibility of, I'm the one that's going to help you. I'm the one standing in front every day when we start class. And I'm going to do my best, and it's going to be an interesting experience, And once we take on that mindset, nothing to be afraid of. Russia, hello. Good to see your podcast. Yes, I'll do one a week, and I'll post it on the Facebook channel. We'll see how this does on the YouTube channel, but I usually stream on both, but I think I might be doing it on the Facebook channel. By the way, guys, if you don't know, I've got a second channel, and it's called the Best English Learning Channel. What a name, the Best English Learning Channel. So I actually go, so I do grammar activities, and I talk about grammar on there a lot. Let me quickly, the Best English Learning Channel. Wow, Eric's got such a big head thinking about a name like that. So I actually go live quite often on here, and you can check it out. I share a lot of English learning content. Let me quickly share this with you. So if you haven't, go over and subscribe if you want to. And I'll do more live streams on there. And I appreciate the support. Najma, sometimes teachers need to put so much time in administrative tasks, documentation, that they are left with less time for teaching preparation. How can we manage both? Do the prep beforehand. Do as much as you can beforehand. Now, I did a video on how to use ChatGPT. Use ChatGPT to write out those lesson plans and just correct them, the worksheets, whatever you have to do. Do the admin and make it easy for yourself. Don't create activities where you've got to do a lot of marking. Simplify the marking. So when you use rubrics, simplify them, make it easy for yourself. So if you can put those things in place to focus on what's important, then these admin tasks make it a lot easier. And like I said, do as much during the weekends and during the nights before the semester starts, if it hasn't already, so that everything is planned as much as possible and you can focus on teaching and doing the things that come up. Thank you so much for watching. Aldi, hi. You're awesome. Thank you so much. By the way, here's the other channel. Okay, should I attempt to, do you guys have any more questions? Should I attempt to answer one more question? Let's see, dealing with, which one should I do? Fighting? No. Or should we do dealing with students who become upset? Let's do that one. Okay. How to deal with students who become upset in class. Dealing with students who become upset, aggressive, or attempt to leave in a fit can be challenging. It's essential for teachers to respond calmly, effectively, and with a focus on de-escalation. I'm going to share some ideas on how to handle these situations. Remember, you are the adult in there. Don't when a student becomes upset, they're filled with emotion, you don't want to reflect that on them. You want to remain neutral. A lot of teachers, student gets angry, they get angry, and they think it's a way to manipulate their students is by using this raw emotion, this rage, and that's not good. So you first of all, you want to remain calm and de-escalate them. You don't want a student who is so emotional, you don't want to try and corner them and say, you've got to do this now, go and sit over there. You don't want to reflect that at them. Instead, you want to be calm, you want to de-escalate them, you want to calm them down. So stay composed and model the behavior you want to see in your students. Avoid raising your voice and becoming confrontational. Okay, so very important. You want to model the behavior. So if they get angry, you don't want to get angry because the students, well, if the teacher can do this, well, that's kind of what they want. So don't do that. Next, prioritize safety. Ensure safety of all students in the classroom. If a student becomes physically aggressive, take immediate steps to ensure the safety of everyone involved, including yourself. I've heard this a lot, and you've seen those videos on YouTube of fights between students in the classroom, fights between students and teachers. Well, no student wants to take me on, but I'm a big guy, huge muscles, by the way. No, but no. So it's different, if you're smaller, or if you're a woman dealing with some big teenagers, you don't want to physically get involved with them. So you're going to, if there is some violent interaction, of course you're going to move towards them, and you're going to ask them to calm down, to stop, to move away from one another. You're going to ask, if it's like that, you're going to ask some other students, hey, quickly help, pull him back, you take him. Ask another student to go and find another teacher, but you don't want to get involved in that fight. They might turn on you. You might get a loose punch to the face. So don't do that. If you are a man and you're in between them, you want to separate them. You want to get in between them. You want to stay closer. So you put your arm in between. You want to stay closer to the student that's not trying to attack, the one that's the least aggressive, and you want to kind of put your palm towards the one and talk to this guy and say, okay, listen, I want you to calm down. Because if you're going to do it the other way around and you're standing like this towards the more aggressive one, they can perhaps do something and turn on you. So just keep them away from each other. So use verbal de-escalation techniques. Speak in a calm and empathetic tone. So if a student is upset, speak calmly to them, make good eye contact, and use an empathetic tone. Without being make eye contact without being aggressive. So you don't want to stare aggressively. Use active listening to acknowledge their feelings. Okay, I understand you feel this way, but there are many students here. We've got to do something. How about go and drink some water, come back to class when you feel calm, and we can continue. Okay. You want to do that once, though. You don't want students to take advantage of you and just to leave the class, and once again, perhaps put them, say, okay, can you go and sit here? Can you come and sit at my desk next to me and we can work together? Let me just quickly put the other students back on track. Okay. Use open-ended questions to encourage them to express their feelings. So, how are you feeling? What happened? What made you feel this way? Avoid arguing or contradicting their feelings. Oh, no, you can't feel this way. You've got to be this way. What are you talking about? No, you want to avoid arguing with them. If they say, oh, you don't know what I'm talking about, if they want to argue, tell them, listen, okay, let's talk about this later. Right now, we've got a job. We've got work to do. So why don't you come and see me after class? You don't want to give them a platform to argue with you in class, because then they're going to feel like, oh, they're on stage, everybody sees them, they can't back down now. That would be weakness. And it's also fun for them. They're like, oh, everyone can see me. And it also brings down your value as the leader in class. So you want to say, listen, let's talk about this during break or after class. Come and see me and we can discuss it then. Right now, let's focus on the work. And very important, offer them choices. Give the upset student choices when possible, empowering them to regain control. For example, if they'd like to take a break, work on a different task, or to speak privately, like we said before. If they say, oh, I don't want to sit next to him, he's smelly, saying, okay, either, you can come and sit here next to me, or you can sit at that desk over there. But if you go and sit there, I want you to first apologize to your friend, because that's not a nice thing to do. Okay. I offer choices. Oh, you can sit here or here, but I want you to just do this too. So asking for a concession. Okay. Also, provide them time. Allow students time to cool down and collect themselves. Avoid pressuring them to talk or make decisions immediately. So, we want immediate action. Okay, the students are looking, there's some kind of confrontation. You've got to do this now. No, take time. Let them relax. Emotions don't just change like that, Sometimes they do, but no, generally they don't. Involve support staff. If available, involve a school counselor, social worker, or behavior specialist to provide additional support or strategies. So if they have a homeroom teacher, maybe work with them, to talk about it. If you have a school counselor, talk about it. Maintain boundaries. Be firm but fair when enforcing classroom rules and expectations. Consistently apply consequences for aggressive and disruptive behavior. Like we said, you want to remain calm. You have boundaries. And that means that you're not going to give some special treatment, and you're not going to be unfair towards others. You're always going to treat students fairly and consistently. Offer emotional support. Show empathy and understanding for their emotions without necessarily agreeing with their behavior. Let them know that you're there to help. You can say, oh, I understand that you're feeling like this. We all go through tough things, but it's right now we are in this situation. So, as a collective group, this is what we're going to have to do. So I understand it. But yeah, you don't want to necessarily agree and say, oh yeah, it's okay to be angry. That's what you want to be. Yeah, you should be sad right now. I understand that. So you want to agree with them, but you don't want to tell them that that's what they're supposed to do. Okay, communicate with parents, keep parents or guardians informed about incidents, and collaborate on strategies to address the students' emotional challenges. Next, very important, teach emotional regulation. Incorporate lessons on emotional regulation and coping skills into your curriculum to help students manage their feelings effectively. So there can be teachable moments when a student gets upset and perhaps they cry, they had an argument with another friend, they didn't want to, a girl didn't want to help a friend. You're going to say, okay guys, this is what I want you to do. Calm down, drink some water, and then explain to the friend, you've got to be nicer to your friend. We're all in this together, we've got to work together. And you can even to help them to learn about that, you can also use role plays. You can say, okay, you do this, and then they have an argument, and then you can say, okay, can someone tell us how are they supposed to act in this situation? Okay, so it's a tough thing for teachers to ask, and it's a difficult thing too, because a lot of teachers say, well, you just need experience. But I think teachers with those skills, it should be taught to us, but it's something that is just expected of us. Yeah, so teach emotional regulation. We've got to learn how to do that. Implement a behavior plan. Develop an individualized behavior plan, or in collaboration with support staff and parents, to address specific triggers and provide strategies for self-control. So if there is a student that has a history of becoming angry, what are you supposed to do in that situation? And also communicate that to the student. If you start feeling like this is what we want you to do. Maybe, ask the teacher to take a break, or to do something, or just have different ways of dealing with it, and let the student be a partner in that, because they have to learn how to handle their emotions too, and situations that they get into. Involve administration in extreme cases, or when a student's safety is at risk. Involve school administrations or the appropriate authorities when necessary. Right, so you shouldn't take the burden on by yourself if it's an extreme situation. Document incidents. Keep a record of incidents, including what led to the behavior, actions taken by you, and the student's response. This documentation can be valuable for assessing patterns and progress. Right, so document it so that you've got evidence of what's going on in the classroom, to protect the student and yourself, and also to be better in the future. Remember that every student is unique, and strategies may need to be tailored for their individual needs and circumstances. The ultimate goal should always be to help students develop emotional regulation skills and maintain a safe, productive learning environment for all. And that's it. Oh, that was a tough one. Okay, let's see. Need to go. Adios, Mario. Until next time. Alex, in your opinion, what is the ideal number of students in a Zoom virtual class? The purpose is that all of them... Alex, I bet you I could get 1,000 students on Zoom and I'd be able to have an effective lesson. The reason is, so I haven't taught... I used to make videos about how to teach with Zoom. And I asked I don't know if this is policy or not, but I asked my students to keep their video off and just use those breakout rooms. Use those breakout rooms for them to do activities together, to give them a list of questions or something that they have to work on together. And then take feedback afterwards, and then use the whiteboard or use share screen to teach them and to explain. Ask individual students while you're teaching, ask examples of students then, to keep them engaged. The students should always be engaged when you're lecturing. So you got to ask them questions and use those breakout rooms. Pedro, how to maintain order and rules to be a happy teacher, best friends and teacher. And yeah, very important. Najma, I deal with young adult students. There are cases of student into... yeah. Yeah, so I think it's something that we look out for with with the students, putting them into groups together, and of course crushes develop between students. I was teaching this one student, and his friend was along, and he said, Eric, you taught me 2 years ago, 2 years previously, before that, and you paired me up with a girl, and we started dating after that. And I said, oh, that's interesting. And he said, oh yeah, later we broke up. So I was quite surprised. Yeah, just remind the students that they're there to learn. They're not there to date. They're there to practice and learn new skills and gain knowledge. So that's the priority. um, if they want to talk outside of class as young adults, they're welcome to, but that's why a space is for learning. I think the biggest problem, not the biggest problem, but the biggest problem when it comes to relationships in class is in Korea, they call it CC, campus couples. Oh, and these guys are just constantly together. And in Korea, especially, there are some rules to dating. You can't, if you're dating a boy, you don't have any boy friends anymore. You can only hang out with other girls. If you're a guy, you don't have any girl friends anymore. You only have guy friends. So in my class, sometimes I've had CC, campus couples, and I just put them together, or I pair them up with someone cool that I think they can get along with. If they do other group activities, I pair the boy up with another boy and the girl with another girl. So we've got to be conscious of these things that happen in class, and then just try and manage it the best we can. But everyone, I want to say thank you so much for being with me. In the future, you can check out on the Facebook page. I'll do the live streams there. I wish you all a beautiful week and a really good night's rest. Okay, everyone, have a good night, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.